the matrix of faith, unplugging from blind belief, the peril of reciting without understanding. Dear friends and family, this is our topic today: blind faith versus true connection with your own inner spirit. Those who cling to the holy book Al-Quran in their lives are on the right path. Embracing this Quran in one's life does not only mean mouthing some Arabic words without understanding morning and evening, which does not reach the heart, does not give any feeling to the heart. That is now, the words do not reach the ears of the nafs by which he is guided. And if the nafs does not hear the Quran, he will never be able to disobey the instructions of the Khanna within him. There will be no change in his actions. No matter how unintelligible he pronounces Arabic words, there will be no change in his life. He will continue to do what he used to do. Rather, he will not stop himself from doing evil deeds whenever he gets an opportunity. There is no problem if you don't understand the Quran. You will be rewarded if you don't understand it. This is the Yazidi doctrine. Their aim is to effectively keep the nation ignorant for life. And this doctrine is preferred by the people because they are oppressed if they can read any opinion. And the Khannas within them supports it, so that his soul is blinded and follows the directions of the Khannas. Reciting the Quran every day without understanding will avoid liability. Yazidi philosophy is being propagated carefully in the Muslim society for ages. This doctrine is very sweet to listen to people, because their inner Khannas also supports this doctrine. This does not hinder the work of Khannas. And Muhammadi Islam is to understand the Quran and live according to it, which does not like the Khannas inside them. Because when a person understands the Quran, he will no longer follow the instructions of the Khannas. He will only follow the instructions of his soul. The human brain has to make noise in order to hear something. But if you listen to your inner self, then it is not only the sound, but also the feeling is needed. And the feeling is created only if you understand the Quran. The sound reaches the brain, but the feeling reaches the nafs, the director of the body. Yazid's Islam has blinded the nation in such a way that the nation read the Quran without understanding it in Arabic. Listening to the Quran without understanding Arabic, and doing public preaching on Facebook to show people. And showing the nation, I listen to the Quran every day, read the Quran, and consider myself very virtuous. But Allah says in the Quran, those who think themselves perfect are in harm's way. The only perfect one is God himself, and tries to get sympathy from blind people like them. But they are in perpetual delusion. Those who read the Quran but do not understand anything of the Quran are blind. Because whatever they hear and read without understanding is not going to benefit them. There is no understanding. God has given people such precious brains, consciences, and hearts to use them, and people have kept them idle and are living a boring life. They are using them only for worldly interests. Embracing the Quran with one's life means that each surah contains some commandment and understanding for mankind. There is understanding, there is knowledge, there is wisdom. That order prohibits and leads people's lives with understanding, if one conducts his life with the injunctions and thoughts of the Quran. But he has to face problems at every level of society. Those who read the Quran, like blind people, do not really understand or know anything about the Quran, and they consider themselves very virtuous. This gives them a sense of comfort that they are on the right path. Those who have not chosen the guidance of the Quran as a companion in their lives, does not live according to the Quran, does not acquire knowledge according to the Quran. Those people will never accept those who follow the Quran, because they will not bear it. The Khanna in man cannot bear it, and the Khanna is always prompting them. This is the reality that hinders those who truly obey the Quran. Those who follow the path shown in the Quran, they are the only obstacles in their way. Those who do not follow the path of the Quran may have cloths on their bodies, but in reality they have not incorporated the verses of the Quran into their lives. Perhaps they do not have that understanding. Remember, lies are in disguise. Truth does not have a veil, rather, truth is covered with a veil. Truth has no mask. A mask is needed to establish a lie as truth. A person's outer body and clothes really don't matter. The important thing is that the three things inside the human being are ruhu nafs and khanas. All the rest of their calculations are based on these three things. Therefore, there is nothing more important than knowing the identity of the Ruhu Nafs Khannas within oneself. And leading a life under the guidance of the soul, surviving the Khannas, is good for oneself in this world and in the hereafter. Man will understand the Quran for himself to save himself. He will do it for himself, but his biggest enemy is his inner Khanna, who prevents him from success. And so they ignore those who speak by the Spirit. Basically, they don't do it. They do it inside themselves. Whoever understands it can save himself. And he who does not understand will continue to eternal destruction without understanding forever. I introduce myself as an awakened soul, that is Adam, and God created Adam in his own voice. I have gradually weakened the Khannas inside me and made him a Muslim, that is, surrendered to myself. Therefore, the Khannas inside me is not my guide. Ruh remained. I am under the guidance of that spirit. I have become a follower of the beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Spirit of Allah can understand these very easily, which sleeping people can't. And a waking soul can recognize another waking soul by seeing it, which sleeping people can't. Because the Khannas are awakened inside them, and Khannas never liked any awakened soul. Don't accept, just hate. Dear brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, teachers and gurus, I will ask you 3 questions. If you know even one answer, your transformation will begin today. Is blind faith enough, or should we strive for a deeper understanding of our religion? How can we break free from limiting interpretations of the Quran? What practical steps can we take to live a life that aligns with the Quran's teachings? Ask yourself these 3 questions, and the answers will come from within you, and your resurrection will begin. Thanks for watching. Stay with us, be a part of Breaking Bias. Allah Hafez.